I'm Mark Titus. I'm a filmmaker and entrepreneur based in Seattle, Washington. And today we're standing on the banks of the Skagit River, which has a very interesting confluence to where I live and where we are currently and the work that I'm doing, in that the Skagit is the only river system in our sort of industrial corridor here in Puget Sound area that's got all 5 species of Pacific salmon returning to it. And as we speak, there's a Canadian mining company that's developing a mine up in its headwaters. Same company that ostensibly would build the proposed Pebble mine in Bristol Bay, the earthen dam that would be associated with that mining structure, and of which I've been spending the last 8 years of my life fighting. You know, I'm a storyteller, so I have married the confluence of my love of storytelling, my love of wilderness and salmon, in telling documentary stories about precious sacred places that salmon still exist, and creating a company that gives back called Ava's Wild, that is addressing critical places that need help and protection, like Bristol Bay. Bristol Bay has 8 major river systems running into it, and the region is the most perfect region for sockeye salmon that anybody's come up with on planet Earth. And it's because of the way that glaciers receded from it, left a ton of gravel, perfect spawning grounds for salmon, perfect temperature still for salmon, and the data speaks for itself. This run is thriving. In fact, just as of 2 days ago, the commercial fishery there, after escapement, which means 8 million fish gone upriver to spawn, after that period, caught 42 million fish out of this fully sustainable resource. It's perfect because it's untouched. There is no infrastructure there, like roads and dams and forestry and the things that we have essentially ruined salmon habitat with in the lower 48, Europe, and the East Coast. So it's the last of its kind, and it's the last stand, and it has to be protected. Chris introduced me to Salmon Nation at that point, and that idea of a better way of doing things, a better way of creating and spreading richness to inhabitants of a particular region than the top-down monolithic structures that have been man-made. And everything about a river system is marvelous, and I see that emulated in this idea about Salmon Nation. Wealth, true wealth, flowing down and flowing up in reciprocity. And it very much feels like that's at the bedrock of what Salmon Nation is about, of being so place connected that you feel compelled to do more for 7 generations coming beyond than just for yourself and enriching yourself in this one place and time. I humbly submit, I have an innate draw and skill in storytelling and in finding natural connections with human beings, with systems. I think that maybe above all, that's my greatest draw is finding the way that mountain water flows to the river and connecting those things up. On the capital side, really looking to create an impact brand with some value that in its charter gives back to the places we're trying to protect.